Welcome to another Men and the Series with Nzetobo Sigwe, Ezikolomuo. Today I want to discuss the rise and fall of Igbo gods. Before I proceed, I want to remind you of Afiolo Extra coming up on 28th to 31st of August this year. Prepare. I would like you to be part of this festival. It's an opportunity for us to interact, to learn, to cross-pollinate ideas on how to develop an Igbo, and also to enjoy the beauty of Igbo Cultural Festival. Today I want to discuss the rise and fall of Igbo gods. The rise and fall of Igbo gods. The concept of all-powerful God was not new to Igbo. Aside Chukwu that we always acknowledge as Igbo, Chukwu, but we never worshipped it. There was never an altar or any shrine dedicated to the worship of Chukwu by the Igbos. Igbos had other gods that were seen as all-powerful. They were acknowledged as the final arbiter in their individual life, in their communal life, in interpersonal relationship. And they were looking for, let's go to this place, this divine temple, that whatever the God says, that's the final, or between two communities, and whatever divine proclamation issued by the God will be taken as the voice the voice of God. Now, these two gods that were very popular were Ibini Okabe of Arochukwu, which the white Christian, the long juju of Arochukwu, the Ibini Okabe of Arochukwu, and the Igwekala of Umunnoha. Umunnoha is somewhere in Imo State. Arochukwu is somewhere in Abia State, present-day Abia State. And Umunnoha is in the present-day Owerri area of Imo State. The popularity, influence, and the adherence to these gods cover the length and breadth of Igbo land, and also extended beyond Igbo, up to Bini, Ejo, Egala, Efik, Ibibio, Otukpo, and the Jukun area. That means it extended westwards, western Igbo land, into the Bini area. It extended northernwards towards Egala, Otukpo, Jukun, and south into Efik, Ibibio, Ejo. So their reach, their influence was very vast. It permeated the whole of Igbo land and beyond. So people from these areas directly and indirectly came to these gods, either to make inquiries, settle disputes, or seek divine intervention in their lives. The influence of these gods were unrivaled and unequaled for hundreds of years, till the colonizers, the Western invaders, the Western merchants and missionaries came to withhold their influence. So people came to seek their divine intervention. People came to seek for blessing. In fact, let me say this, on a personal level, my surname is Osigwe. It means that the person who was Osigwe was gotten as a child, was blessed by Igwekala. Some surnames in Igbo today, Osigwe, Eluigwe, something Igwe, at times, means that their parents or their family had something with that Igwekala of Umunnoha. So, in my own family, the person who bore Osigwe, the mother was barren for long years, donkey years, before my great-grandfather finally went to the Igwekala, and the child was promised to his wife, and the woman became pregnant and gave birth to the only child that was known as Osigwe. So their influence, their divine intervention in personal, interpersonal, and communal lives was legendary. People believe that if these two gods were not able to solve your problem, there is nowhere else you can ever get any divine intervention to your problem, to your individual or communal problem. So they are, in terms of conflict resolution, they are, whatever they say or whatever their priests say on behalf of them is taken as the final decision, as the voice of God in that particular matter. So their decline was as a result of the influx of the Western colonizers into Igbo. So their decline started, one, there was an organized and strategic attempt by the colonizers to reduce their strong influence over the people. The missionaries and also the merchants knew that to get the attention of the people, they need to unmask these particular gods and show the people that they are nothing. They are nothing, that they are powerless. So there was a strategic and organized attempt by the colonizers to reduce their strong influence over the people. And one of the ways they did this too is what violent expeditions against the priests and middlemen of these gods. Once they realize that you're a priest of any of these gods, you'll be humiliated, you'll be arrested. Once you serve as a middleman in communities, as agents of these gods in any Igbo community or beyond Igbo communities, you will be caught, you'll be arrested, you'll be humiliated. Now, another thing they did was, number 3, raiding and burning down of these shrines. For example, the long juju of Arochukwu was burned down how many times? I think twice. And the place was declared a no-go area. A no-go area. The place was totally burnt down. It was demolished. Number 4, royal decrees that no one should be found consulting them. There was a decree. The colonizers made a decree that no one should be found consulting any of these gods. So you see that the attempt was really strategic. If you are caught consulting the gods, you are either in prison or a hefty fine will be placed on you. So the people were forced to do what? Look other ways or start looking towards the Western gods for their solution. Number 5, long-term purpose. A lot of lies were concocted and put into educational materials to poison the minds of future generation of Igbos. That's why today, if you talk about any of these gods, if you want to make research about in fact, even as when I was little, we are taught in school about the abominable god, the long juju of Arochukwu, that was used to perpetuate slave trade. If you make any research about the long juju of Igbo of Arochukwu, slave trade will come out. It will be attached to slave trade. That's what the basic knowledge of this particular god in Igbo land and beyond today. There was anytime you make any search on this god, it will turn out to something what negative. This was strategic. It was strategic to make sure that the minds of the people were poisoned for generations to come over this particular god. So they oversaw the decline of this god. It was total. It's only when you start making serious research and start going deeper, especially into oral history, that is when you will realize that the long juju of Arochukwu, the Igwe Kala, these two gods, they are actually used to ensure peaceful harmony in the whole of an Igbo. Their utilitarian value was very high. Their potency was not conjured. Yes, there were some myths built around them, but their utilitarian value was very explicit. It was not built with a lot of dogmas and doctrines. So one may ask, if these gods were powerful, why did they die off? Why did they fall? Why? Now, the answer is simple. Number 1, they are still there today, but on a peripheral level. They are still there today, but on a peripheral level, just like the other Greek gods that are still on peripheral levels, like Zeus, Venus, Janus, or have been modified, and some of them have been inducted into modern pantheon of gods, and some of you may be worshipping them without even knowing. Some they will have been given Angel Michael, Angel Gabriel without you knowing. Number 2, no matter how powerful a god is, once it loses its respect, the respect of its own people, the god will certainly fade off. A god is as powerful as the myth built around it, and the respect of its own people, its worshippers, towards this myth. Once you unmask the myth, that is built around a particular god. Let's take, for example, the Christianity. Once you unmask the myth of the virgin birth built around Jesus, once you unmask the myth of Muhammad receiving the Quran divinely built around Islam, you will destroy that particular, it will fade off. And once the unmasking of this myth is political, for example, they say if you are caught talking about Muhammad, this you will be killed. That particular religion, no matter how powerful, you die of. Any god, no matter how powerful, once people, human beings, are forced to stop worshiping it, you go into decline. It's not about a god, whether being powerful or not. God as useful as the human beings who are going to be there to believe is useful. Once you succeed in making the humans to believe that is no longer useful, that God will go into decline. It's not a matter whether that God is what useful or not. It's not a matter whether that God is what useful or not. Our people will have an adage say, that means to demarket a great man, a powerful being, is worse than killing it. Once you demarket anything, you have succeeded in destroying that particular thing. Because even if that thing is genuine, people have believed that it's not. It will be very difficult to convince people again that it is. Even when few people have gone to test and see that, oh, this thing is what? Is still good. Those people will not even want to come out. If they see it, if you come out to say that it's still good, you'll be branded as a madman who doesn't know what he or she is saying. So they have been greatly demarketed. That's why they decline. That's the reason for their fall. Whether the stories surrounding that was used in the marketing them were true or false is no longer a material. The most important thing is that the people who marketed it did a thorough job of it, and they were nearly successful, or should I say successful. You must understand one thing today. You cannot perpetuate mental slavery without first of all achieving spiritual slavery. A free man is one who is free to choose his or her own God. Once you subject people to believe in your own God, it's easy to control them moving on. So now you understand the rise and fall of Igbo gods. It will help you to understand where the rain started to beat our people, how things fell apart, why our people is still under mental colonization. Thank you. Thank you for watching this video. If you like the video, please like, subscribe, and share. I would like to hear from some of you. If you have any question, please, you can reach me through the number on the screen, or my email address, or my other social media handles. Thank you.